mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, dip my body
Hello. You are now tuned in to the A Little Bit A Lot podcast. I'm your host, Kristen, and welcome back to another episode. This week we have a lot to discuss when it comes to none other than Love Island USA Season 7. You guys know a majority of my thoughts about this season and the fact that it has been literally chaos and just overwhelm every single day except for Wednesdays. We have been fighting for our lives as an audience, and honestly the Islanders have been fighting for their lives as the contestants on the show, and it has just been a whirlwind. Okay, so we are here again to continue to cover the chaos, because just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, it got worse. Like, guys, this last couple of episodes have been literally crazy, and it's like it has been killing me, like not being able to talk to you guys about this more often than like once a week. But it's like, God forbid your girl works 40 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's got a full-time job. So I'll be having to watch the episodes, take my notes, and then go over the episodes in, bulk with you guys. So stick with me, because I'm going to share my thoughts on episodes, 21? I believe. Yes, episodes 21 through 26. Okay? Because episode 21 just like sent the villa into a different trajectory when it came to Nic and Olandria. Like, I have not even been able to get into the gags and talk with you guys about that. Like, it has been crazy. I repeat, it has been crazy. So let's jump straight into it, like, so serious, because we got to talk about this, guys. Okay? And before we do that, if you're watching this episode on YouTube, kisses, thank you so much. I love you guys literally down, like more than you'll ever know. Give this episode a like, comment down below to let me know what have your thoughts been on the season so far with Love Island USA. Like, what? Let me know, guys. Like, I'm always open to have discussions, like W's in the chat. Like, let me know. Okay. And also subscribe. Yes, your girl's on her road to her first 800 subscribers. So if you click what? Your girl got too excited. If you click the subscribe button and you join the community, I promise you won't regret it, babes. Okay? We talk about pop culture. We talk about mental health. We cover a lot of things. Okay? So you're not going to regret it. You're going to have fun over here. I swear to you. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, rate that 5 stars, leave a review, and let me know what you think about the show. So for episode 21, I put Taylor says that Nic, to me, low-key feels like Superman. This was right after he got voted off. That was crazy to me. Taylor, you're telling me that you think that Nic is like Superman? The Superman, the one that's got literally like, he can fly and he's like, his weakness is kryptonite. Like, you're telling me that you're going to literally super strength, speed, agility, endurance. You're telling me that that is equal to Nic to you? The love that Taylor has for Nic needs to be studied, because there's a lot of psychological things going on right now, guys. And I just could not get past that statement in episode 21, because that is just such a crazy thing to say as a man, that you think that this other man, as you've only known for a couple of weeks, your bestie in the villa, is like Superman to you. Right. Okay. And then I put Nic and Olandria going on a date, and he says that he's attracted to her and wants to explore the connection. Gags me. The first thing that Taylor does when he sees Nic, once Nic comes back to the villa, is jump over Olandria, right? To jump on Nic. And I'm like, huh? That was suspicious. Let me know, guys, in the chat. Do you think Taylor's antics when it comes to him, like, on Nic's jock, is it too much or not? Is it just me? Like, what is up with this man? You haven't seen Olandria in 3 days, okay? But you just saw Nic last night when he got voted off, and you skirt past Olandria the girl that you're supposed to be interested in to jump on top of Nic. And then after he does that, he gives Olandria just this pathetic little side hug. But Nic gets a jump on. And then after he does the sorry little pathetic little side hug, what gagged me was then him and Nic get up and he's literally hugging on Nic, letting Nic twirl him around. I'm like, child, this is crazy. And then after that, seeing Olandria cry a little bit during her first chat with Taylor as he tells her, yeah, during Casa Amor, I found a connection and I'm really getting, interested in getting to know Clark. And I had a kiss with her in Casa, like, gagged me. Because I feel like that was the first time, well, the second time, technically, that we saw Olandria show any type of emotion. Like, girl, are you going to ever emote, ever? Like, I was kind of concerned, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, as much as Olandria gives eldest daughter sibling core, we got to be strong, we got to be tough, blah, blah, blah. It's like, girl, at some point, you do have to have some type of emotional vulnerability, girl. I get it. But it's like, girl, like, show some type of emotional vulnerability. So it's like, understandably, I get why that was the moment that, like, made her cry. The one was her getting voted off. And then the second is this man that I've been feeling for weeks telling me that he kissed another girl during Casa and he likes her. Like, I know that's tired. And I really felt bad for Olandria. And then what gagged me even more was the fact that Taylor also said in episode 21 that he's got more of a connection with with Clark than in the first 24 hours than he did with Olandria in the first 24 hours. And I'm like, huh? Because to me, I don't really think that there's much of a difference between Olandria and Clark's personality, other than the fact that Clark has bad posture and constantly stares at the ground and smirks like she knows something that you don't all the time. And she seems pretty boring. And I don't even know where I was going with that. Like, other than, like, me going in on Clark. My bad. But, like, what do you mean? Like, how do you have more of a connection with this girl when she literally don't be giving nothing? But I guess because Taylor gets a lot of nothing, he can relate. So he's like, oh, nothing, see nothing? Okay, well, then maybe we can make something. Because, like, he be giving a whole lot of nothing, too. Like, the free, I don't know. That just irritated me. And then I think the biggest gag of all the gags when it came to episode 21 was, okay, now Olandria and Nic are brought back to the villa. They're like, y'all gotta be a couple. Nic is like, hey, okay, since we're gonna be a couple now, maybe we should try to explore our connection. Like, let's see, what our kiss could be like outside of a challenge. And the fact that Olandria said yes, like, that already had me, like, screaming. I'm like, go girl. You better work it out. And seeing Nic and Olandria kiss at the end of episode 21 honestly had me screaming. Like, you guys do not know how many times I had to pause and rewind because I'm like, I am literally, like, dissecting this kiss like it's, like, national, like, history. Like, this needs to go down, like, as an iconic, legendary moment of reality TV, period. Because, oh my God, that kiss went crazy, bro. Like, that kiss went crazy. And I just loved the fact that a lot of people on the internet felt the same. Even people who weren't Nic and Olandria stans, like, became Nic and Olandria stans for that episode 21. I know that. Like, that was insane. Like, oh my goodness. And the fact that, like, once they got done kissing and then Nic just looked so smitten afterwards, I'm like, oh yeah, like, sorry Sierra, like, love you down, girl, like, love you boots. Sierra is one of my clients and like she's so cool, love her. But ultimately, like, I had to ship Nic and Olandria, like, I believed in the dream that they were selling us. But then we go to episode 22 and our dreams literally get snatched right out of the palm of our hands in less than 24 hours, because then they have a chat and Nic is saying, like, yeah, Olandria saying, yeah, we both feel like there weren't any sparks, so, like, maybe we should just stay friends. And I'm like, how the actual freak did you have such an amazing kiss like that? And you can look each other in the eyes and say, oh, there's nothing. Like, that's like, you can't be telling the truth. Like, you can't tell me that you're being honest with yourselves. I understand you guys were, thinking about, the other persons that you're coupled up with, but it's like, what? Like, you're lying. And I put in my notes that I think Olandria just felt guilt exploring with Nic because of Sierra, so that didn't allow her to give it a fair chance. And it seemed like Nic just seemed to kind of go off of like Olandria's body language and her energy so that he wouldn't like go out looking sad. Like, I don't know. Like, that was just so disappointing to me, because I really honestly feel like if she just let go of that guilt that she felt for Sierra and just like chose herself in that moment, I think she would have been able to realize, like, okay, yeah, there is actually something with Nic. Like, you can't tell me that that couldn't have been the gag. Like, I was so upset. But whatever, child. Like, that's their tea. They say it ain't nothing. I guess they say it ain't nothing. But, like, I don't believe it, And then in episode 22, we have post-Casa recoupling time. And the only notes that I wrote about that was I felt like Chris choosing Huda felt like a way to keep himself safe, to be able to keep pursuing Shelly, since he figured that she was going to pick Ace. And I also said that Taylor not picking Olandria post-Casa recouple is not surprising. And I've always questioned how much Taylor even likes Olandria, because he literally told Ace that he wasn't physically attracted to her. And so I'm not saying that like Taylor is a villain for putting him first and picking Clark. Like, he can do what he wants, I said, but I feel like he just needed to be honest with being over Olandria like a while ago. So I feel like he kind of had her like, strung along this whole time. So that was really kind of like my only issue with the post-Casa recouplings, but most of them like made sense. I also kind of like, I didn't write this down, but now that I think about it, I kind of like that they kept Elan, because I know that there was like, the issue with like him having his connection with Sierra, and I was really hoping that maybe Elan would like find another connection with somebody else. But I really think he's really cute and he seems like he's really nice. So I'm hoping that like maybe, some things will continue to happen with Elan. I don't know. And then we move on to episode 24, and this is when we have like the heart rate challenge episode. And, Shelly got upset with Huda and the heart rate challenge. And I wrote down that I get Shelly's point of view, because like, why did Huda even choose Ace? Like, that had me like scratching my head. And it looks like some of her antics were cut out. Like, we didn't see the full show of like what she all did with Ace. But like, even Pepe said that, yeah, that seemed like that was more than a challenge. And it's like, if Pepe said it, then it's gotta be true. Because like, Pepe's like unproblematic for the most part. So I'm like, ooh, like, not Pepe chimed in with his 2 cents, child. So that was kind of crazy to me. I said, but also, Shelly did double back and kiss Chris. So I get why, she's saying that it's still strange, at least on Huda's part, though. Because like, Huda basically did the same thing in a challenge with Shelly's main connection that she would have gotten mad at others for doing to Jeremiah. So, it's like, girl, how are you gonna keep telling everybody, hands off Jeremiah, hands off Jeremiah? We keep telling you it's a challenge, it's just a challenge, you don't care. And then you turn around and you literally put your hands on my main connection. Like, I'm so confused. Like, I feel like you need to stand on what you said. If you didn't want nobody touching your main connection, so then why are you touching mine? Like, I don't really understand why everybody is like so confused online about why Shelly's upset. Like, I can understand why people feel like her being upset with Ace is kind of like, that doesn't make sense, because with Ace, like, she's actively still exploring her connection with Chris and like doubled back and, like I said, kissed Chris. But with Shelly being mad at Huda, I feel like that makes perfect sense. Like, what you just did was not giving girls girl. And like, you were the one that set the tone for this is how the girls are going to move in challenges. We not really going to step on each other's toes when it comes to being all up on each other's main connection. So why did you do that to me? I don't understand what's so hard to understand about Shelly's point there. Like, what? I feel like Shelly's valid. And it just kind of confused me that, Huda just kept going around being like, what did I do? What did I do wrong? But then, like, turned around, it was like, oh, but I did raise his challenge, his heart rate the most in the challenge, huh? So I was like, girl, you do know what you're doing. You do know what you're doing. Like you're fully aware of what you're doing. So I felt like that was kind of like hypocritical, on Huda's end. Granted, outside of that, I will say the Huda has been doing significantly better with, putting her best foot forward, with getting to know more connections, and hasn't been crashing out too badly. But then, like, once the Shelly stuff started happening and she started the kind of like white woman tears again, which is like, can you say white woman tears if she's like, her ethnicity, is she even white? I don't know, but like non-black tears, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's giving non-black tears, so I don't really care. I don't really feel sympathy for you. It's like, girl, you were doing so good. You've been doing so good. I've been so proud of you. You've been trying. You've been growing. You're trying to like rewrite your history and prove, like you said, that you're more than just a crash out now that Jeremiah's gone. And then you pull these antics with Ace and then turn around and be like, what? What'd I do? Like, I didn't think that was tasteful. I really didn't. I also put in my notes on episode 24 that I feel like Taylor and Clark are just not it. Like, she is, nice looking, but I feel like she is one of the world's most boring Islanders that we've ever had in the history of Islanders. I can't think of a more boring Islander than Clark. And that's like including every season of Love Island UK that I've watched and Love Island USA. Like, girl, you literally have zero personality. And like I said, the smirk that she constantly does literally kills me. Like, it almost feels like an Anthony Mackie moment where it's like, why are you always smirking? Why are you always smirking? Like, oh my God. I don't understand why a smirk makes me so mad. What it makes me physically violent is like, I want to smack that smirk off your face. I want to smack that smirk off your face anytime I'm around a smirker. And it's crazy because like I have a cousin, he's dead now, like rest in peace down, but is one of my granny's sisters. So, like, my great aunt, I think, right? That would be my great aunt. Her son, he was like 40 something. And he passed away in a car accident. But before, like, whenever I would see him, like, every couple of years in Arkansas at our family reunions, he was a smirker too. And it's like, bro, what is the tea? Like, what do you know that I don't know? Like, why are you always smirking? Like, what's so funny? Like, what? And that was my first encounter with a smirker in real life. And I used to just be like, bro, he's making me uncomfortable. Like, I can't stand somebody that's got a smirk on their face all the time. Like, get the freak out of my presence. Like, the aura is literally a chop. Like, negative 2,000 aura if you smirk. Like, don't smirk around me. Ain't nothing that funny. Okay? And if you got secrets, share it with the class. Oh my God, I just can't with Clark. And then for my last note for episode 24, I put Olandria and Elan seem to be chatting in the background like pretty much the entire episode. So maybe they might explore a connection. Like, I don't know. And then we move on to episode 25. Huda continues to cry about Shelly being mad at her. And she's like going around the villa being like, am I a bad person? Am I a bad person? And it's like, girl, I wrote down, cut the noise. If you know you're a good person, then you shouldn't have to keep asking for validation. Like, what the freak? I cannot stand a person who is always on that type of time. Like, well, I guess I'm just the world's worst person. It's like literally giving gaslight and manipulation. Like, girl, just please be quiet. And I thought it was so funny because like when she was like going on about her antics and being like, and she walked over to Olandria and Olandria was minding her business, eating her dinner. Even Olandria got up and walked away because it's like, girl, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm over you. I'm over this. And I'm like, that's right, Olandria. Protect your peace because you already got enough going on. I don't got time for listening to Huda's antics right now. And then we finally get another date in episode 25, and it's Nic and Sierra's turn, and they are officially closed off. And I'm like, okay, kind of have, mixed feelings about that. And I also wrote down that I felt like Nic being threatened by Elan was kind of funny. And I said that I only think that, and this is just my opinion, guys, these are all just my opinions. Like, we can agree to disagree if you don't agree with me. But I really only think that Nic closed off because nobody wanted him in Casa. And then he got voted off. And then he tried to explore his connection with Olandria. That flopped. And then he got gagged that during all of that, Sierra was booed up the whole time in Casa with Elan, so he's just tired of taking L's at this point. Because like before they went into Casa, Sierra told him like, "Hey, I don't really like the feeling that I got when you were like kissing other girls and stuff." But at the time he wanted to get to know Audrina, so he was like, "Well, you can explore too." And she was like, "F the other like connections, like F exploring, like I low key want to be about you." But like he was like, "No, nah, I don't really want to. Like, I want us to keep exploring." But then suddenly, after like flopping through his entire Casa experience, he gets back, sees Sierra has this connection, and he now is like, "Okay, never mind, let's close off." I don't really like that. I feel like that's a little bit like manipulative. Again, guys, I'm gonna say it every freaking episode. Nick is a Pisces man. Okay? As much as I love his personality and I think that he's super funny and he seems really nice and sweet and caring, you can also have toxic traits too. You know, once, like I always say, those two things can be true at the same time. And that unfortunately is Nick's case. Like, great guy, but some of the things you be doing are a little problematic, a little bit toxic, and I'm not feeling the way that you moved about this, like closing off with Sierra, but whatever. And then one thing that stood out to me finally for episode 25 was the fact that Chris decided he wants to focus more on his connection with Huda. And they had like a little moment towards the end of the episode where they were in the speakeasy cuddling, and I'm like, wait, like they're kind of cute together, because it's like no shade, no tea. Like when Huda is like not acting like clinically insane, she's kind of chill and kind of cool, you know, like emphasis on kinda. So I'm like, wait, like this is kind of a moment. And then it gagged me when like Chris was like, she asked him what's her usual type, and then he's like, "I usually attract what is it, emotionally unstable women." And she looked him dead in the eyes and said, "Oh, I don't think I'm emotionally unstable." Girl, I know you lying. I know you are lying. Like, gotta BFFR. Like, be so freaking for real right now. Like, cut the noise. I thought that was funny, but I'm like, wait, like, y'all are kind of cute though. Okay. And then we get to episode 26. And I feel like this episode is crazy. I have no clue what episode 27 is going to be like, but episode 26 last night was literally insane. I felt like they set a nuclear bomb in the villa and it went off and everybody just got so turned up, guys. Like, this episode had me literally clutching my pearls, being like, ooh, ooh, like what? It was drama. Once again, Huda continues again to keep crying about, you know, Shelly, and she has a chat with Nick, and he's like, "Yeah, girl, like you gotta cut the noise. Like, I understand why, you know, Shelly's a little bit upset with you." And she's like, "Okay, you know, I'm gonna fully take accountability for that." And I'm like, "Okay, that's the least you could do. Cool." And then we have like mail challenge time. So during the mail challenge, the Islanders were able to write what they were thinking about people, and they could either sign it or they could leave it anonymous. So Austin takes the time out of his day to write to Amaya, and he says that you cry more than needed and you move on too quickly with the guys. And I'm like, Austin, you have some freaking nerve. Like, I simply just don't get him. I really don't. Like, why is he still here? Why are you still here, bro? And I feel like leaving that comment to Amaya just felt mean. And then it irritated me even more because then Ace felt like he needed to add his 2 cents onto why he agreed that she comes on too strongly. And it's like, who asked you? Who asked you? Like, then at that point, it's literally just like, y'all are like dogpiling on to Amaya, and it's like, that's not cool. And then, you know, I really love the way that Amaya handled the situation, because of course, since the comment was mean, she like then cried again, which like I would have wanted to cry too. As somebody who literally cries even when I'm frustrated and I'm angry, like I cry a lot, so I understand Amaya completely. And that doesn't mean that you're weak. It's just tears. Like, at the end of the day, it's just tears. Like, I can still literally go toe to toe. Like, if you want to go band for band and you really want to throw those fists up, then like, let's literally duke it out like the freak. And I might be crying while I'm doing it, but like, don't play with me. Like, that doesn't mean that I'm like, you know, not about that life at the end of the day. Like, what? Like, God forbid a girl's a sensitive gangster, like she said. And she ate with that. She ate with that. And she's like, I'm not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, so like don't drink the mother freaking tea. Like what? And then it was crazy because it like really kind of irritated me, because then her current couple, Zach, took the time to be like, yeah, you know, she too much. And it's like, bro, what? So here comes Austin adding his like 2 cents that nobody asked for. Ace comes in, jumps on Amaya. Now Zach, like, what is the issue? And it's just crazy to me because it's like at every single point, Amaya, especially after like what she went through with Ace, she's like, okay, I'm gonna try to make sure that I communicate and like make sure that the person I'm coupled up with from now on is comfortable. So it's just crazy to me how you took the time out of your day, Austin, to write this literal cruel letter to Amaya. But then every single time that y'all were together, when you were coupled up, she would ask you over and over again, hey, are you cool? Just want to check in. Is there any boundaries that you have? Is anything I'm doing making you feel uncomfortable? Are you okay when I call you babe? You telling her, yeah, 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 yeah. So it's like, then what, bro? Like, at the end of the day, it's literally just proving once again that Austin literally needs to get the frick out of our villa, because he's literally just like a coward and a Trumpy, and he's just stupid, because it's like, you had plenty of opportunity to keep it a buck with her and you didn't. So like, how are you going to try to then make like your issues and project onto me because you can't handle my personality? Like, it is just so unfair to me that everybody that she's been coupled up with wants her to dim her light. And I feel a ways, because it's like, we need to really make sure that we're speaking up and standing up and protecting women of color, especially girlies that are like extroverted, because I feel like as society, people often like demonize girlies that are loud and girlies that are fun and bubbly and just have really big personalities. And I know that sometimes that can be off-putting, but it's like, there is nothing wrong with that. Like, you should be, you know, accepting of all different types of personalities. And I feel like girlies like that get a bad rep. And as somebody who also could come off as like a lot and like super hyper and like talkative, and has been like made to feel like I should like dial it down, you know, especially like from my grandma growing up, just feeling like I was always too much. Like, I don't really think that that's fair. And I also feel like people also need to give a break to the girlies who are introverted, because it's like, it's literally like, not to quote Austin, but like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because then, like, God forbid you're a extroverted girly and you're loud, then they want you to pipe it down. But then if you're a girly that doesn't like to talk a lot and you really stay to yourself and you're quiet and you're shy, then they want you to come out your shell even more. And, well, why you don't talk? How come you don't talk? So it's like, if I talk too much, y'all saying I'm doing the most. But if I don't talk enough, then you're saying I'm a weirdo. So it's like, a girl can't win. Like, what the freak? Like, I should not have to conform my personality for you. Like, and it just sucks, because I feel like every person that she's just been coupled up with just doesn't like her, period, point blank, and they just don't match well with her personality. And I truly feel like I said before, if Amaya finds somebody like the Kenny to her Janae, who totally understands her personality, like, and it would work well, you know, but she just hasn't found that in the villa, because all the guys in the villa are just weirdos. And that really sucks. Like, I just really wish that a bombshell who's a real one would come through and be like, I totally get Amaya and I like her for how she is. Like, the freak. And also, I really liked the fact that Brian did stand up for Amaya in that moment, though. I'm like, okay, Brian, collect the tea, because he said that her personality is really common for girlies that are raised in a Hispanic household. You know, like, they say mi amor and, you know, babe and my love and stuff like that. And he said that he feels like Ace should have met her halfway. And then he tried to go off on these antics, and Ace was like, I tried. And it's like, no, the frick you didn't. You coupled up with her, and then you immediately were like, don't breathe, don't blink, don't eat, don't sleep around me. And it's like, that's your version of trying to meet her where she's at? No, that's your version of literally trying to stifle her personality, brother. Then another thing that I thought was kind of strange in episode 26 was Ace writing Shelly a letter, because it's like, you could have just literally had this conversation with her in private. Like, why are you airing out the girl that you're in a couple with? I don't understand, but he felt like he needed to do it. And in his letter, he basically was saying, I don't know why, you want boundaries and challenges, but you still want to explore. Once again, I just feel like that was strange. And I feel like it almost feels like he thinks that he's the only one that's allowed to have boundaries. And overall, I just think that he's pressed because when he wanted to explore, it was cool. But now that Shelly came back from Casa and has an option that feels real compared to her option that she had with Austin, then Ace feels threatened, and he's like, nah, I don't want to explore no more, especially since like Ace also flopped in Casa and didn't really find a connection. Like, it's just really frustrating. So I feel like Ace and Nick both like weren't able to find a Casa connection, and then both of their partners were, so now they want to lock it down. And it's like, sir, it don't work that way. Like, you wanted to be literally mother freaking Dora the Explorer pre-Casa, and now that I'm trying to do the same thing you doing, then it's weird. Like, I don't know. I'm just so over Ace. Like, seriously, I can't. I don't really like spending too much time even like thinking about him because it's mentally draining. And then another thing that I thought was like crazy in episode 26 was Shelly getting a letter or writing a letter to Chris, and her letter to Chris said that the switch up is crazy. And I feel like Shelly is kind of valid here because, even I was kind of confused when he had said, in his confessional that he's going to take a step back from Shelly to focus on Huda because he feels like his energy isn't being reciprocated. But I'm like, we haven't even seen you put effort into pulling Shelly for a chat since you came over from Casa. Like, I'm so confused. Like, how can the energy be reciprocated when you haven't even been giving the energy for her to reciprocate? You've been giving nothing. And I know like people can say, well, Shelly could have talked to him too, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like you, the Casa boy, you should be trying, like, like what? Like, technically Shelly's supposed to be the prize here. And then another issue that I had was the letter that Clark wrote to Olandria. Guys, like, Clark, don't piss me off, bro. She said that Clark says that she feels offended by Olandria because Olandria called her and Taylor a test. And I feel like her writing this letter in the first place was literally pointless. Because it's like, why do you care so much about proving to Olandria that what you and Taylor have is real? Like, we know that already. The proof is in the pudding. Like, he picked you. Like, he's yours now. So be happy and leave me alone. Like, let it go. Like, I'm so confused. And then when Olandria apologized, it was like, okay, girl, like, congrats. So sorry if I made you feel the ways. Then Clark tried to be like, okay, yeah, it's okay. I know what you meant. So it's like, girl, then what the freak? If you knew what I meant, then why are you bothering me? Why did you bother even writing this letter? Like, cut the noise, Clark. Like, we need to get Smirkiana up out this villa because I can't take it no more. Also, Olandria finally popped off on Taylor in the freaking mail challenge. I know, that's right. Was she right for calling him the B word? No. But at the end of the day, it's like, guys, if Huda can crash out, let Olandria have her turn. Because the second that a black woman starts expressing her feelings and all of a sudden she's mad, she's angry, she's this, she's that. Like, nar. That's not it, babe. Let Olandria say her piece because honestly, like, kudos to my queen. Like, she's literally been holding it down, keeping it a buck, like, suppressing, holding in when I know that she's wanted to knock Taylor's head off. I know it. I know she's wanted to knock Taylor's head off the second she came back into the villa after being voted off. Like, you really gonna really tell me that in 3 days your head completely turned and you're choosing this girl over everything we built? Bop. Like, what? Guys, I don't like actually condone physical violence, you know what I mean? But like, theoretically, I know she wanted to literally like run him over with the truck. Are you kidding? She is popping off on Taylor and she's like, I'm upset because you're telling me that you still want to explore your connection with me, and when we're in the heart rate challenge, you're telling me I really wanted to kiss you, but out of respect for Clark's feelings, I didn't want to kiss you. But you've never considered my feelings to this whole thing. And your actions, you telling me you want to explore, are not matching your words. I mean, your words telling me you want to explore not matching your actions is basically what she's saying. And I agree. Like, it has not been matching up. Like, I don't understand why when Olandria came back from the villa and he said, I want to keep exploring, I want to explore with Clark, he could have just cut it off right then and there and said, yeah, I'm no longer getting interested in getting to know you. I found this connection with Clark, so it's over. But no, you chose to tell me, no, I want to still keep exploring both. So I'm thinking you want to keep exploring both. But then the way you moving doesn't give that. Granted, I understand where Olandria is coming from. However, if that was me and his actions were not matching his words, and I see that it's clear that, okay, you actually want to pursue this girl because I'm picking up on context clues and I'm picking up on how you moving, that you really kind of seem like you over me, then I would have taken that as a sign to move on a long time ago. And I feel like that's kind of where Olandria kind of like let me down here, because it's like, girl, I know he's saying he still wants to explore, but he's not acting like he still wants to explore. So you should have just moved on. But also at the same time, Taylor should have kept it a buck with you. So I get it. I get both sides. But yeah, like I said, I just think that this crash out could have been prevented if Taylor would have just flat out told her, like, when she came back from Casa, that, like, he wasn't interested. Like, we could have literally saved ourselves all this trouble. And then Taylor also gagged me again, because he told Olandria after she yelled at him, like, girl, at the end of the day, this experience is for me too. And you seeming like you want me to move for you rather than me moving for me. Like, I'm going to do what I got to do for me. Like, I can't do what you want me to do for you, girl. Like, this is about my experience in my life. Just like you need to be worried about your experience in your life. So, like, get the frick off me. And I'm like, oh, And then the last question that Taylor gets is, why can't you just make up your mind? So at this point, Taylor's over it. Olandria done called him out of his name. She done crashed out on him. And he's like, girl, I'm into this experience for me, not you. And y'all want me to make up my mind? Okay, bet. I choose Clark. And I'm like, like, Olandria should have jumped up and lunged at that man. Because at that point, this is becoming a humiliation ritual. This is becoming a humiliation ritual. Like, you cannot tell me that this man does not literally live to literally embarrass her, bro. Like, oh my God. And the fact that she gave a cute little clap afterwards, knowing she literally wanted to, like, slice his throat, was, like, gagging me. Like, all right, I choose Clark. Oh, that would have sent me. That would have literally sent me into literal freaking orbit Tina. Are you kidding? And I'm also, like, thinking in the back of my head, like, why did it take this long and this moment for all of this to build up? And for somebody to be like, why can't you just make up your mind? Why can't you make your mind up for you to finally do it? Why did it take all of that for Taylor to finally make a choice? I don't know. I don't know. So yes, that is episodes, 21 through 26. So we'll be talking about episode 27 and on next week. But those are all my thoughts so far. And I know I said that I'd try to live tweet over on Threads at A Little Bit of Lot Podcast. Follow me on Instagram and Threads and, TikTok while you're at it. But because the season and the episodes have just become so crazy and a little bit mentally taxing, I kind of fell off with my live reactions. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just focus on making my notes for the pod and share my thoughts on the pod. Because keeping up with the tweets, I'm like, this is too much. And then it even got to the point where normally when I get off from watching the episode, I get on TikTok and I'm like, hey, what everybody got to say? Especially after the Nic and Olandria. I think that was the turning point. I think that was the turning point from my mental exhaustion, when I was so happy about Nic and Olandria getting together in episode 21, just for them to turn around and break it off in episode 22. I said, oh, I'm done. I'm literally freaking Dunzo Boots the house down, Mama Slay. Because y'all got me messed up. Like, Olandria, you got me messed up. So then that's when I was like, I'm not even going to look on Twitter. I'm not even going to look on TikTok. I can't even give any more energy into this show than the energy I give when I watch it, and that's it. And then talking about it on the pod, and that's all I got. That's all I got in me, because I can't. But yeah, also we've got some favorite things of the week, guys. Yes, I've been trying to like get better at like the last couple of weeks, like bringing out my favorite things of the week. One of my favorite things of the week this week is a song by the K-pop. Well, they're not even really a K-pop group. They kind of give K-pop group energy, but the group is called Katseye. And I think they're signed to the same label as BTS. And they have a new song called Gabriela. Bruh, Gabriela like has literally been my vocal stem for the past couple of days. Like, hands off Gabriela, Gabriela, hands off Gabriela, la la. Back off of my fella, back off of my fella, la la. Ooh, you can have anyone that you wanted to. I'm begging you. Like, oh my God, I love the like, I don't know, like Latin energy of the song, and like the dance move that they do with like them twisting their hands above their head. It just eats down. I love the music video with it having Jessica Alba, I believe, is in the music video. And I've been a Jessica Alba stan for such a long time, because I don't know if I already shared this with you guys. She was in that one movie that's almost kind of like Step Up with Lil Romeo, and it was called Honey. I used to literally watch that movie so much as a kid, and I would literally try to like learn the choreography. This was when I was like convinced that I was going to be a like dancer or like a choreographer, like back in the day. Like, I just had like a heavy like dance interest, and I would watch like choreography videos on YouTube and stuff. But Jessica Alba ate down with that movie. Honestly, I need to run that back, bro. I haven't watched it in like 15 years for real. But it was nice seeing her. Like, my girl, she's not aging. Honestly, she looks good. So I would highly recommend checking out the new Katseye song, Gabriela. They also dropped an EP, and they have another song on there called Game Boy. I really like that song too. And then the other song that I've been really feeling, one of my other favorite things of the week, is Midnight Sun by Zara Larsson. That song, a never ending midnight sun. Oh, Zara, sweetie, Zara, baby. Like, you just dropped the song of the summer, bro. A never ending midnight sun. I love the fact that the song gives like brat energy, but also like a pop, like futuristic, like pop genre, but at the same time a little bit of like Jersey club mixed in. Like, you just have to hear the song for yourselves, guys, and watch the music video, because the choreography eats down, bro. And I was talking to my sister about this, because she knows I've been a fan of Zara Larsson for a long time. She's got a song called So Good, and that's when I first discovered her. I think that might have been her like debut single. And I think Ty Dolla $ign is on that song. So good, so good, so good, so good. Oh my God, that song used to have me in a chokehold, like no cap. And then she's got another song with MNEK. I will never forget you. You will always be by my side. That song is so good. Like, that girl has vocals down. And then when I was telling my sister about Midnight Sun, she was like, yeah, I've seen it, and I like the song too. And I'm like, oh wow, like, I'm surprised, because Zara Larsson's like my girly. But she was like, the girlies on Twitter are running it up. Like, the song is really getting a lot of traction. I'm like, yeah. Like, it's about time people wake it up on Zara Larsson, because she's iconic. And for those who don't know, I think she's from Sweden. And Janae was telling me, my sister was like, I saw a tweet that was like, reacting to the music video, and they were like, she better shake that little IKEA booty. And I'm like, because for those who don't know, like, since she's from Sweden and IKEA is like a Swedish company, like, she better shake that IKEA booty. That had me LOLing like down. I'm like, girl, oh my God, that's so funny to me. So I highly recommend checking out Midnight Sun by Zara Larsson. Oh my God, it's just such a good, feel good song. Like, it just makes you want to dance. It makes you want to frolic in the grass. Like, it literally makes you want to just go to the beach and just like have the water in your hair, the sand in your hands. Like, ugh. It truly makes me feel like I'm in a music video when I'm in the car, whenever I'm listening to it. Like, it's so good. And then also my other favorite thing of the week right now is Bob the Drag Queen. For those who don't know, Bob the Drag Queen has a book called Harriet Tubman Live in Concert. And he had a book deal where he was like, I don't really want to write a book about my life because I feel like my life is not that interesting. So maybe I should write about history, because he really likes history and he really likes, Harriet Tubman lore. So he decided to write the book, and he was like, what if I wrote the book from the perspective of Harriet Tubman comes back to today's time and she makes a hip hop album? And I'm like, that is just so cunt to me. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's such a unique concept. Like, what would Harriet Tubman's hip hop album sound like if she did an album about her life, Like, she's such an icon. She's been through so much. I bet you the album would literally be a banger, So I feel like anytime you're able to offer me a unique concept like that, I'm all in. So I read a sample from the book, but I really need to like actually read the whole thing, because it seems like it's so interesting. And there is so much, I feel like, that you can learn about Harriet Tubman that a lot of people don't really know. And I feel like it's important to learn about Black history. And it's really frustrating to me because Bob made a video on his channel where he talked about how people on TikTok were being like, I was today years old when I learned that Harriet Tubman is not a real person. And he's like, guys, no, like, Harriet Tubman is a real person. And it's like, it almost feels like it's disrespectful to Black culture and Black history by anyone trying to say that she wasn't real. Because it's like, it's already hard enough for us out here maintaining like our own culture and our own identity without white people constantly trying to erase it, like, they're already always trying to erase our stories. They're already trying to erase our legacy and our contributions to society. And the fact that America was literally built on the back of Black people is like crazy, that y'all want to discredit everything that we've been through. Like, slavery was not a joke. And I don't understand why you think that it's impossible that one Black woman said, I've had enough of this. I'm going to do something about it, and contributed greatly to the cause. God forbid a woman is tired of being enslaved and does something about it. Like, how is that so hard to believe? There are many people in our history and our culture who have stood up and single-handedly done great things on their own to contribute to making a change for the greater good. So yes, like, that could be a very real person, and she is a very real person, and she really is that girl and really did the things that they're saying that she did. So for y'all to try to say that she didn't is crazy to me. And it's like, that put some respect on Harriet's name, put some respect on Black history at that point. So that kind of like rubs me the wrong way for anybody that's like anti-Harriet, like the freak. Like, we are capable of doing great things. As much as it sounds impossible, she did that. Yes. So I love the fact that he is like just reclaiming that moment and like giving Harriet her flowers and being like, guys, this is a real person. Put some respect on this. This is her story. And this would sound like if she made a hip hop album. And he ended up doing a performance of 2 of the songs from the book. And he did it live at the Grammy Museum. And those 2 songs, that performance, I kid you not, was so like spiritual. It's like, when you watch stuff like that, sometimes you just can't help but think like, dang, I love being Black. Like, I love being Black. I like, as much as, the history that's attached with Harriet and just our ancestors is sad, it still feels like at the end of the day you feel a sense of pride because you know how much adversity they worked hard to overcome. And I can't even imagine going through that. So then it makes you really, really appreciate being able to say, I come from, a line and, descendants of people who have been in Harriet's position that wanted to fight for something greater, and it kind of just makes me like really introspective when I watch stuff like that, and just seeing like Bob being a, black queer man, like celebrating Black history in that way. It's really important, and it's really, really just fascinating to me. And at the end of the day, like Bob the drag queen, he is also a really talented artist, outside of being, drag and being a comedian. Like, he ate those songs up. I'm like, hold on, are you Harriet? Because like, is Harriet in the room? Like, when he performs those songs, it really feels like this is what Harriet could have said. Like, Harriet could have really actually wrote these songs. So I would highly recommend also checking out Bob the Drag Queen's Harriet Tubman Grammy Museum performance, because it was really, really something. It moved me a lot, and I can't wait to watch it again. I've already watched it 2 times, and I'm going to go in for a third off an edible just so I can really feel even more deeply connected to the experience, So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Can't wait to, talk about more Love Island. And at this point during the season, I'm kind of ready for it to be over with. Like, let's wrap this up. At the end of the day, I'm not really feeling none of the couples. It's Team Amaya, Papaya or bust. And that's just really what it is. So like, let's get to the 100K. Okay, I can see the finish line. Let's wrap this up, guys. For real. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify, rate that 5 stars, leave a review. And with that, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Cause I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with y'all.